Okay, I wanted to make a quick video on this do-it-yourself bike rack that I made for our tent trailer. What? He's over there. Go get him. So basically, it was really simple to make, and I kind of had to make it and then try mounting everything while we were going camping, so I couldn't really make a video of me making it. But I just wanted to kind of go through the steps because it's pretty simple. So basically, all you really need is a 2x4. This is just a regular non-pressure treated 2x4. But you could use pressure treated if you were planning on going camping a lot in the rain and stuff and you didn't want it to deteriorate. So it's basically just 2x4 with decking screws holding these blocks. These blocks are about 3 inches wide. And so there's a 3-inch wide one at one end, 3-inch wide at the other end. And in the middle, it's about 6 inches, maybe 8-inch wide. How wide you make those blocks, it doesn't matter. But what you can see underneath them is actually some thick felt. So that's like the sticky felt that you get from Home Depot, somewhere like that, that you put on the bottom of fabric or bottom of furniture so it doesn't scratch ground. So I just put some sticky felt underneath each block. So 4 screws holding that block on there, 4 screws holding that on there. I also put wood glue between them just to make them a bit stronger in case the wood split a little bit, which you can kind of see it did there. So yeah, so some wood glue helps. Now this mount for my wife's bike, which has a quick release axle, I got off Amazon, and I will try to remember to put a link in the description. It had small holes for screws. I drilled them out and put actual bolts in to hold the bracket on, and then I put another screw in there just because I felt like it. This thing works really well. It's really secure holding her fork on there, which makes it really easy for installation. Now this, I just tied a rope on. Before I put a zap strap, and I forgot to get another zap strap to put on there. The idea with this is you're also able to put a big lock on there if you want to stop it from coming off. Now on mine, what I did, because I have a through axle, what I actually did was I got some 1/2-inch iron fitting. So this is obviously a T with a, I believe, 1-inch long coupler and then the floor flange. Now you could change the height of this by changing that coupler in the middle, but basically all you really need is 3 pieces of the iron. And then I used plastic ends instead of the iron ends so that they can't damage the fork. So these plastic couplers you can get. Now this is all from Home Depot. I think all of this here cost about $5 in material. You put it together as tight as you can. There's already holes drilled in it for the bolts. Put your bolts in with lock washers, tighten it down really good. And I put, you can actually, I don't know if you can see underneath. They're at, you know, you can kind of see it there. So they're proper bolts that are actually meant to get kind of sucked in. And they're square at the end. I forget what they're exactly called, but so you can get specific hardware to make it very easy to install. I wouldn't recommend using screws. Bolts are going to go all the way through and clamp, where a screw is you're relying on it penetrating the wood and the wood really holding it on. So I wouldn't really trust just screws. I would definitely bolt it. Now there are also these are eye screws, so like almost like a leg screw but with an eye end, so like a loop end or hoop end. So what I did, so you can kind of see it there, I pre-drilled these. You don't want to just try screwing these in because I guarantee you this wood would crack. Pre-drill it, screw that in. I put one there, one in the middle, and then one at the side there, and then that is just for putting these tie-down straps. So the tie-down straps are going to really give you that extra stability as you're driving to stop these bikes from rocking. Now, at the ends, I put really, really, really large eye screws. They're not eyelet bolts, eyelet screws. Basically, they are a round circle with a large leg screw end. So I put large ones here. Again, I pre-drilled it and I glued it with some contractor's adhesive. Probably not necessary, but I just wanted to make sure these were really strong. Pre-drill it, screw these in. I think they go in about that far, and that makes it so we can put our tie-down straps. So the tie-down straps on each side hold the 2x4 to the top of the tent trailer. And then these straps are just holding the fork, and this fork is actually compressed slightly because I just kind of cinched these down till it was nice and tight, till each of these was super tight. The axles being held at the front, so that also helps with the bike for stability. And yeah, this thing does not move. Now at the rear, I've got one strap going across through both wheels. Now, one thing I'm going to do differently next time is have two of these straps. And the reason being is that because the strap kind of goes across flat at the back, the tires do tend to move towards the center. So basically, if you look here, both these tires start to move towards each other. Where if you use two straps, well, one will come here and then come back down. So it'll hold that tire fairly center. And a second strap for this one come and then come down, should hold that one center as well. But otherwise, this thing's been working great. Total cost, well, I think it was $5 for this, $20 for this, and I already had a 2x4 and the eye bolts. So let's say $30 max total Canadian to build this myself. I had a bunch of the straps already and everything. So yeah, depending on what you already have, you could make this thing for fairly cheap. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else. So yeah, basically all you need to do, take a 2x4, measure, maybe give yourself 1/4 of an inch at both ends, cut your 2x4, add your blocks like so, and then install the eyelets or the eye hooks or eye bolts or whatever you want to call them. And that's pretty much it. So it's very clean, works really well, super stable. We're doing 120 kilometers an hour down the highway, no problem. Yeah, really nice. So hopefully this helps if you're trying to figure out how to make your own rack. We were going camping and I quickly needed to figure out how to get our bikes on top, but I didn't. We see a lot of people where they just lay bikes on top of the trailer flat. And when we went camping, some people actually mentioned that they saw us on the road and were really interested in how it worked because they just lay theirs on the top and it actually damaged the roof because the bikes kind of move and scuff the roof and all the paint gets damaged. So basically, hopefully this makes sense. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments.